$100,000 a year. Say that number out loud and it still sounds like a lot, and by most measures it is. You're in roughly the top 15% of individual earners in the United States. So why do so many people earning that number feel like they're barely keeping up? Not broke, not struggling in any dramatic way, but not ahead either. Just running in place. Every raise gets absorbed. Every month feels tight by the end. The number in the bank account doesn't seem to grow the way it should. Here's what's actually happening, and most people don't figure this out until it's cost them years. Let's follow two people, same starting point, same income. Watch what happens over 10 years based on one key difference in how they think about money. Both are 28 years old. Both just crossed $100,000 in annual income for the first time. A salary of about $8,300 a month before taxes. After federal and state taxes, FICA, all of it, they're each taking home roughly $5,800 a month. Call it $5,800 to keep the math clean. Same paycheck, same city, same rent market. The difference isn't luck, timing, or some secret investment strategy. The difference is a single decision they make right now about what this income means to them. We'll call them Marcus and Danny. Marcus does what most people do when they hit a new income level. He upgrades his life to match it. This isn't reckless. It doesn't feel reckless. It feels reasonable. He worked hard for this. He sacrificed in his mid-20s. He deserves a nicer apartment, a newer car, better food, better clothes. And look, he can afford it. The numbers work on paper. He moves into a place that runs him $2,100 a month, gets a car with a $480 payment, starts spending more freely on weekends. His lifestyle, measured by monthly fixed costs alone, sits around $4,600 when you add up rent, car, insurance, subscriptions, food, and everything else. That leaves him roughly $1,200 a month. Some months he saves a bit. Some months something unexpected comes up and he doesn't. He's not going into credit card debt. He's fine. He feels like he made it. Danny gets the same raise. Her reaction is different. Not extreme, not austere, just measured. She decides her lifestyle won't change much until her net worth changes first. She moves into a place that costs $1,500, drives a car she owns outright, and keeps her monthly fixed costs around $3,000. She takes the $2,800 left over each month and splits it, some into a 401k, some into a brokerage account, a small buffer for fun and flexibility. She's not suffering. She's just not letting the income reshape her entire cost structure before she's built anything real. From the outside, Marcus looks like he's doing better. Nicer apartment, better car, more Instagram-worthy dinners. And for a while, in the ways most people can see, he is. Let's look at what's actually being built or not built inside these two financial lives. Marcus's $1,200 monthly surplus sounds workable until you realize it's essentially an emergency fund that gets recycled every time something goes wrong. One car repair, one medical bill, one trip, it evaporates. He's not building a cushion, he's just surviving at a higher altitude. If Marcus does manage to save that $1,200 consistently, after a year, he has about $14,400. After 5 years, assuming some modest interest, maybe $80,000. That sounds okay until you realize it represents less than 1 year of his gross income, and it required near-perfect discipline with almost no margin for error. More importantly, Marcus's fixed costs have locked him in. If he ever wants to take a risk, switch careers, start something, take a lower-paying job he cares about more, he can't. His lifestyle requires his current income just to stay still. Danny's $2,800 monthly investment goes into the market. She's averaging around 7% annually. Not a prediction, just a historically grounded number for a diversified portfolio. She's not trying to pick winners. She's just consistent. After year 1, she has roughly $35,000 invested. After year 5, using that 7% return compounded, she's sitting on about $205,000. After 10 years, somewhere around $480,000. Same income, same 10 years. The gap isn't a little different, it's completely different. And here's the thing that doesn't show up in the raw numbers. Danny's options expand with each passing year. Marcus's contract. That's the real cost of lifestyle inflation, not just the dollars spent. The decisions you close off, Here's the idea most people resist. Income is not wealth. It's not even close to the same thing. Income is a rate. Wealth is a stock. Income tells you how fast money is flowing in. Wealth tells you how much has accumulated. You can have a very high rate and a very low stock, and tens of millions of Americans do exactly that. The financial industry has a term for it: high income, low net worth. Doctors who graduate with $300,000 in loans and immediately inflate into a lifestyle that requires every dollar of their salary. Salespeople who earn $150,000 but spend $148,000. Tech employees pulling six figures who have almost nothing in savings because their city, their social circle, and their own expectations are all optimized for spending. Lifestyle inflation is the mechanism by which income never becomes wealth. And it's not a moral failing. It's a design feature of modern consumer culture. Every time your income goes up, there's a product, a neighborhood, a social expectation that expands to fill it. The car payment that felt outrageous at $30,000 a year feels modest at $100,000. The apartment that felt luxurious at $60,000 feels normal at six figures. This is called hedonic adaptation. Your baseline resets and you're back to neutral. You earn more. You expect more. You spend more. Net worth, unchanged. Marcus isn't doing anything unusual. He's doing exactly what the system was designed to get him to do. Fast forward 10 years. Both Marcus and Danny have gotten modest raises over the decade. They're each earning around $125,000 now. Marcus has a nice life. He lives well, in an objective sense. But here's where things get complicated. He's 38 years old and has roughly $90,000 in savings and retirement combined, less than 1 year of his gross income. He owns no assets that generate anything. If he loses his job, he has about 5 or 6 months before things get genuinely difficult. And now the real trap springs. His lifestyle requires this income level to function. If he wants to retire at 60, he needs to dramatically increase his savings rate for the next 22 years just to catch up. He's not in crisis, but he's not free either. Danny, at 38, has roughly $480,000 in invested assets, growing at a rate that no longer requires her to be perfect with money. At 7%, that portfolio alone generates about $33,600 a year in theoretical returns, compounding without her doing anything new. She's approaching what some people call the inflection point, the moment when your money starts to work harder than you do. She also has options Marcus doesn't. She could take a lower-paying job in a field she finds more meaningful. She could take 6 months off. She could start something without betting her rent payment on it. She has the single asset that almost nobody talks about when they talk about wealth: time sovereignty. The ability to make decisions about your life that aren't entirely constrained by this month's paycheck. Same income, 10 years. One had a lifestyle, the other built a platform. Now, this isn't an argument for living like a monk. That misses the point. The version of this advice that says, cut every luxury and invest every dollar, isn't realistic, and it's not what Danny did. She spent money. She went out. She took trips. She just didn't let her spending automatically scale with every raise she received. The actual principle is simpler than most people make it. When your income goes up, cap the lifestyle increase at something less than the full raise. If you get a $1,000 raise per month after taxes, put $600 or $700 into assets before your spending can adapt to claim it. Let your lifestyle grow slowly. Let your net worth grow fast. The reason this is hard isn't math. The math is simple, it's social, it's psychological. Your friends are spending. The marketing is constant. The new apartment genuinely does make you happier in ways you can measure. Delayed gratification works in theory and fights against human instinct in practice. That's why the mechanical solution matters. Automate the investment before you see the money. Make the default behavior aligned with the long-term goal. Treat investing like a fixed cost, not something that happens with whatever is left over. Because whatever is left over, if you're not careful, will be very close to zero. And one more thing, this framework doesn't require an income of $100,000 to work. It works at $60,000. It works at $45,000, with lower numbers and slower timelines, but the same underlying logic. The income level changes the speed. The principle doesn't change. Here's the question worth sitting with. If your income doubled tomorrow, What would change about your life? Most people immediately picture the things they'd buy, the upgrade, the relief, and some of that is completely valid. Certain expenses genuinely improve your life, and your time is worth something. But underneath the answer, there's a more important question. How much of that raise would still be yours in 10 years? Or would it be absorbed quietly, reasonably, in ways that each felt justified, until the new income felt exactly as tight as the old income did? Marcus didn't make bad decisions. He made normal ones. And normal, at this particular moment in history, is retiring with not enough, working longer than you want to, and having a lifestyle that costs more than it's worth. The gap between what you earn and what you keep is where wealth is built. Not in the income number, not in the investment strategy, in the gap. Most people never stop to deliberately create one.